Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing absolutely fantastic and that you're all having a wonderful day. Don't forget to leave a like. It is a free and easy and free way to support the channel. Don't know if I mentioned that first part. Helps out the channel a lot. It helps out my algorithm. It lets YouTube know that people are watching and that they like the videos. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. A bit of a mixed bag of a news day, I would say. Nothing crazy, nothing insane. You'll see like there's one crazy story, but it's nothing like, that can't be handled. Yeah. In news that I think was supposed to shock or surprise us in some sort of way. The news is huge, as always, but the problem is that like, yeah, we could have definitely all seen that one coming. In a recent 13F filing with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, PNC Bank has revealed its substantial Bitcoin exposure, estimated at roughly 67 million US dollars. This disclosure highlights the bank's engagement in the cryptocurrency sector, adding a new dimension to its asset management strategy. A bank called PNC Bank apparently has been buying large amounts of Bitcoin. They have around $67 million worth of Bitcoin right now. So when I said it's not that it's not interesting or fantastical, it's just we hear a lot about banks buying up Bitcoin. One, which is monumental in that they weren't wink a number of years ago, but it's only because of SEC filings that we're even getting this kind of information. If you missed it at some point, I don't know who you are. Last year, we heard that a number of central banks are also holding Bitcoin physically, spot, and they're also holding large amounts of shares of Bitcoin ETFs, namely from BlackRock. So a lot of these filings were only figuring it out because they had to legally file with the SEC. Otherwise, we would have never, ever heard any of these banks actually announcing how much that they actually have. Headquartered in Pittsburgh, PNC Financial Services Group stands as a leading institution in the financial landscape, boasting total assets of, okay, wow, look at them, wow. They have assets of approximately $325 billion. Do you know how much money that is? You know how much money $1 billion is? Like, can you conceptualize the idea of having $1 billion? If I gave you $80 million, and you spend $1 million a year, it would last you for the rest of your life. $1 billion is like, you can go poo-poo bananas. You can do whatever you want with that money. $325 billion is an egregious amount of money. My goodness. The bank operates an extensive network of, wow, look at them, 2,459 branches. They have 9,000 ATMs, serving clients across 19 states and the District of Columbia. Cool. And they do a whole bunch of other stuff. Fantastic. So cool. That's another bank who we found out only through SEC filings. If you missed the last 2 or 3 videos, we got a lot of deceptive news. There's a lot of I don't want to outright use the word manipulation, but we keep hearing stories and news situations about banks who for some reason talk down to or nastily, is that a word? Badly a bird? Is badly a bird? Yes, it is. About Bitcoin. And then we find out that other banks are also buying up Bitcoin in mass as well. So, just like a wink kind of situation when it comes to all of this. So another bank, this news, I mean, it wasn't not popular. It's just more of a, as I told you before, if we get any kind of news as to buying It's never seen as significant as something that BlackRock or Fidelity is actually doing. So $67 million was not enough to get people riled up or the market riled up. Isn't that disgusting? Isn't that weird that like people don't even find this news like, oh, okay, cool. Another bank just took hundreds of thousands of millions of Satoshis away from people that they'll never be able to own. News. That's the PNC Financial Services Group news. And yeah, let's move on. This is an old story that keeps on returning around once a year. For those of you who didn't, this is an old news story, but it keeps really every single year it keeps popping back up. There's a guy in the UK, I believe, who at some point, the story goes, the legend goes, he was mining Bitcoin in the early days, early days. He got a new computer, threw the old one away. That's the story we've been told thousands of times. The issue is that he had a lot of Bitcoin. He had between 7,000 and 8,000 Bitcoin, and they were on that old computer. When you hear about, what do you call it? Like the Bitcoin that's lost and gone forever. It's basically, I think it's estimated between to be 3 to 6 million Bitcoin is lost and will never be recovered. It's kind of because of stuff like this. In the early days when Bitcoin was worth less than a penny, there were a lot of people who had mined 20, 30, 40,000 Bitcoin, had it on an old computer. And the general idea is if you had 100 Bitcoin and you see its current price, you probably would not keep it on a computer from 2013. You would, and even more so, that computer was probably from 2009. So you would probably every couple of years buy a new computer or a ledger, wink, and you'd put it onto there, or you'd like separate it, 100, you'd have 10 different wallet addresses. You wouldn't keep it in one wallet address from the time that it was actually mined. So it's believed that a lot of these computers have been thrown away, or people forgot their passwords, or were completely locked out. So there's a guy in the UK years ago who lost ownership control of thousands of coins. The computer was thrown away, and basically every year it pops back into the news that he's been like fighting the local council, where he's trying to get permission to go back to the landfill to get those coins. The issue is but there's one gigantic one. The council keeps like rejecting him. They keep saying, no, you can't go through the garbage to look for your money, or whatever the case might be. So as the landfill continues to get land fuller, it looks less and less likely that he's going to actually get his coins. However, there's a gigantic twist to all of this, and I hope it works out. A British computer expert who lost a hard drive containing about 7,500 Bitcoin has offered to buy the landfill. Yeah, where he believes the device is buried. He's now, and I'm going to tell you this. Listen, understand. This is exactly who I am. There's a phrase that says, if someone tells you who they are, believe them. This man offered the local council, I think, millions of dollars, not as a bribe, but he was like, please let me do this. I will pay you millions of dollars. I will get my own team just so I can dig in this one part where the computer is. They've told him no consecutively for the more than a decade. When I tell you these words, I would have done anything in my power, because let me let you understand exactly who I am. Those Bitcoin are worth almost $1 billion. That's billion with a B. I'm going to assume the little local town that he is, wherever he is in the UK, if he had dug that up himself, like got his team, pushed everyone out of the way, and dug that money out by himself, he would have probably incurred a £50,000 fee. he probably, listen, and I think on the high end, I can see him getting like a half a £1,000,000 fee to like a 1.25 million pound fee. You know, pushed people out of the way, caused a disturbance, yada, yada, yada. There's nothing that would have separated me from my money. Almost $1 billion. You are out of your gosh darn mind. When I'm telling you these words, believe me, I would have caused a ruckus. Especially a year after. No, I'm sorry. I would have dug myself, especially this being over a decade. Whatever trouble he had been in would be gone. I think he's probably just a very nice guy. You need to understand, you don't play with people's money. It's a really big thing. This guy's patience is out of this world. The moment they told me, even back in the olden days, when it was worth like 3, 4, 5 million, I would have said, Mary, if you don't get out of my way, because I'm going to push you down into the garbage and I will look around you. There's not a chance on this planet. Are you 7,500 Bitcoin? Listen, I would have incurred that multi £100,000 fine and would have gone on with the rest of my life. His name is James Howells, who has been finding the Newport City. They don't have no money. That's not London. Stop. I would have walked over them. And I mean that really. And then at the end of it, listen, I'm a nice guy. At the end of it, I would have set everyone I stepped on. I would have set aside 5 Bitcoin for Mark, Mary, James, and Jehoshaphat. And I literally would have I'm not joking, I would have put some Bitcoin away and I would have given them that Bitcoin when it went to $1 million and said, I'm sorry. That's how nice I am. You are not separating me from almost $1 billion. I'm sorry. That's not how this is going to work. Who's been fighting the Newport City Council for access to search for the hard drive? Made the offer after the council announced plans that they even want to close the landfill. According to a BBC report, Howell says the hard drive is buried in a section of the landfill containing 100,000 metric tons of waste. I remember I told you guys that last year when we had another story about this. I feel like, based off of logic, 100,000 metric tons, I feel like that would like just destroy the hard drive. I feel like 1 ton of weight, 1 ton, would have probably smashed that computer into smithereens. 100,000 metric tons of waste? Ew. The landfill holds more than 1.4 million metric tons of waste. The council plans to close the landfill in 2025-2026 and build a solar farm on the site. That is crazy. To build a solar farm on top of waste is like, whoa. Anyway, the news story continues going on. Basically, he's trying to have a hearty discussion with them about allowing himself to be able to do it. There is nothing on this earth that would have stopped me. I'm not even remotely joking. I would have gone Super Saiyan. You couldn't stop me. The amount of friends and family members who I would have called and been like, you each get $1 million. Dig. I mean, a year after this happened. Anywho, yeah, this was actually very popular news. This was all over the place. This is what people were talking about. I said it last year. I said it the year before that, and I'll say it again. Good luck. And I mean that in the sincerest form and fashion. Really, good luck. I hope you find it. I hope you become wealthy, and I hope you buy that whole city. I don't think I'm that petty, but I would buy the homes of the people who didn't let me go. I'm not even joking. I would literally, I'm telling you, there's not, what? $768 million? Okay. What is it? Newport, South Wales? Yeah, they would have had a hard time. No. You know what? No, never mind. I was going to look up how much fines would be, but this probably is unprecedented. No one has ever dug through a garbage site to like look for something. What? No, 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 no. I would have got my computer back immediately. That's the I definitely would have got my money back. I hope this guy get his news. Cause no. Okay. All right. Let's move on. I could feel my blood pressure increasing because I literally sat there and I was like, only God could keep me from it. you would have to hold. What? You know how many friends and family members I would contact? You each get $1 million. Dig. Like we're gonna find this. Then after that, we're all going to. Actually, we're going to Jamaica. We're going to the Bahamas. We're going to Bali. We're going wherever you guys want. It's on me. It's literally on me for the next 5 years. What? Told this man no, please. In a significant development, here's another one. Maryland. So this must be number 25. I don't know how many states this is at this point, but we keep hearing more and more. We've heard that 15 states within the United States are getting closer to like actually having this as law. We heard from Dennis Porter that apparently March is the time frame for these states to begin accumulating Bitcoin as part of an actual reserve. But I think a couple of other ones are like a little bit farther behind. We recently heard from Arizona and Utah, and I believe Missouri. Was the last one that we also heard from. It says, in a significant development, Maryland state delegate, her name is Kaylin Young, has introduced the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Act of Maryland. The latest move reflects a growing trend among U.S. states to diversify their financial assets into digital currencies, recognizing Bitcoin's potential as both an investment and a hedge against inflation. Here's the actual thing right here. This is why I think it might take a little bit longer for Maryland. So Bitcoin Magazine reported that Kaylin Young introduced the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Act of Maryland, but I wasn't aware of how many steps there were. And maybe this is just a Maryland thing because we've seen some of the charts from the other ones. It's usually like a group of people vote, another group of people vote, and then it kind of gets signed into law. This one says you have to refer it to the CMTE. It has to have a second reading. It has to have a third reading. It gets sent to the opposite chamber for the first reading. Then it gets a referral to the CMTE. Then it gets a second reading. Then it gets I'm not joking, a third reading. And then it says review in the original chamber. Then it has to get passed by both chambers. It says confer CMTE if necessary. And then the last step, it says to the governor. I understand checks and balances. I really do. And I think we actually need more of them in other places. However, I feel like 9 readings is maybe like a bit too much. So Maryland is on their way to get this thing started, but it's probably going to take a little bit longer than other places. We did hear that I think Arizona and Utah, as far as I remember, are 2 of the states that are the furthest along. And we should get like proper news from multiple states once again sometime in March. So cool. This is another state. It feels almost daily at this point that they're kind of popping up and everything seems to be going in the right direction. We have yet to have any kind of negative or delayed kind of news. It seems like these are going along as planned. I mean, if we can be, real about it, if we get 5 states within the United States and they're the only ones who pass this, it's still like ridiculously monumental because it means that those states are going to be accumulating billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin just themselves alone. So yeah, I think we'll probably like be around like 20 by the end of the year. I think another catalyst will probably be Bitcoin's price. So if we get to a $300,000, $400,000 Bitcoin, I think other states will realize that they kind of missed out And a lot of this will get pushed forward a lot quicker than what we're currently hearing. But that's just a guesstimate. 15 to 20 by the end of the year makes a lot more sense. That's the Maryland news. Moving along, tying directly into it. Florida State Senator, his name is Joe Gruters, filed a bill on Friday that would allow the state's chief financial officer to invest public funds into Bitcoin. We haven't heard about Florida in a while. Florida was the first or second state to announce that they were going to be doing this. Florida made headlines because they said that they would be allocating, I think it was $1.3 billion into Bitcoin. They were the first one, but for some reason, other states have had a much easier process when it comes to filing all of this paperwork or getting a lot of things to go through. So apparently this has officially been filed by Joe Gruters. And the legislation, known as SB 550, seeks to incorporate the cryptocurrency into Florida's financial strategy as a hedge against inflation. The bill states, and I do quote, "The chief financial officer may include Bitcoin," here we go, "and other digital assets to serve as stores of value and provide a hedge against inflation, thereby protecting the purchasing power of state funds," end quote. That is a very loaded word, 2 words right here, digital assets. I have a feeling that other states will also start to do the same. A lot of what we're hearing is just Bitcoin reserve, Bitcoin reserve, Bitcoin reserve, Bitcoin reserve. What I think is going to happen is very similar to what the US as a whole is doing, creating a crypto assets reserve. I'm telling you, this isn't anything like revolutionary. Like, I'm not about to, make sliced bread. Whatever coins they begin to announce that they're actually accumulating, one for the United States and other states as well, I think other countries are going to follow suit in the exact same tone. Remember how we heard Bhutan, Bhutan, has been accumulating and mining Bitcoin for a while. Bhutan announced 2 months ago, I think, that they're also accumulating Ethereum and Binance Coin. And I think we're going to start to see something like that. I think we're going to hear Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP is a literal given. The other coins are kind of up in the air. And I think that's what the digital assets reserve is going to be, is probably a lot of coins that are supposed to be tax-free within the United States. HBAR, Aave, XRP, and I'm always missing the other ones. But I think that those, listen, you can't get around that. If these things are going to be tax-free, especially as a state, a province, as an individual investor, you can't really put a price on that. Because you know that anything else you invest in, you might make money in, but gosh darn it, tax-free is tax-free. So I think Florida and the United States are probably going to have between 10 to 15 different coins, with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP being a big bulk of it. I really feel it. By introducing Bitcoin into the state's investment portfolio, supporters argue Florida could better safeguard its financial reserves from economic volatility. The bill outlines 3 ways the state could hold Bitcoin: directly through a secure custody solution with a qualified custodian, or as an exchange-traded product approved by the United States. That's interesting. That's a weird. So would you have to create a brand new ETF? Will they be already investing in ETFs that already exist now? The qualified custodian, I dare say, is probably going to be Coinbase, because it's always Coinbase, but very fascinating. Additionally, it allows the CFO to loan. Ooh, wow. It allows the chief financial officer to loan Bitcoin holdings under certain conditions to generate additional returns, provided the loans do not expose the state to increased financial risk. So you would have to, how do you even how do you even hedge that properly? How do you make sure that you loan out something, but that you're guaranteed to get your money back? That they would have to put some kind of collateral in some sort of way. If you didn't see as well, Coinbase is also beginning to loan out Bitcoin. I said that a while ago. I was like, something big is going to happen because investors are looking for some other way. What's the word? They're looking for some other way to get a return on what they have. It's kind of similar to when Michael Saylor last summer called Bitcoin boring. For those of you who missed that, MicroStrategy announced that people who don't want banks to hold their crypto are stupid. And everyone was like, what? And then the next day he was like, yeah, we're also turning into a bank. So this is what I assume the name change to strategy probably also was. They were looking to, create or rebrand as they look to get into banking. But one of the ways is by actually loaning out Bitcoin. And I think it's going to be a majorly big business. I would prefer if Bitcoin stayed away from like debt in any sort of way or creating debt based off of Bitcoin, because the idea of Bitcoin is never to be able to get into debt, because what's there is there. What you have on chain is what you have. But of course, institutions would also, and also states would want to get into this as well. How many people? So I have a strange question. How many people in the states, in one of these states, is the question isn't buying Bitcoin, but do you want to buy more because you hear that your state is going to be buying some? Like Missouri, Maryland, I think Pennsylvania was one of them, Arizona, Texas, Florida, etc., etc. When you heard, so like you're into crypto, got it. When you heard that your state is going to be buying over $1 billion worth of crypto, did that make you want to buy more? Or did you buy more? Or like, do you understand the severity of the situation that they're also going to be taking away a large, gigantic chunk of what's actually out there to be able to purchase? That's a real question. I actually wonder, because a lot of times we've gotten news. So like, for instance, we've gotten news over the years in crypto in general about amazing things that are happening, or we hear about banks buying, or millionaires and billionaires, and there's not a lot left. And like the supply on crypto exchange continues to drop, and blah, 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 blah. But I always wonder, like, does that light a fire under you? Do you like go, oh crap, I have to get some as well? Upon hearing that we might, we saw the number 22, but I'm saying 20 by the end of the year. If we get 20 states, that's not even other countries, because we also know that Brazil's also having discussions, and I think it was Vancouver, the mayor of Vancouver, I think it was Vancouver, who's talking about also collecting Bitcoin. And it's like, if you live in Vancouver, are you like, whoa, let me also go get some? Not as like a pride thing or like being proud of where you live, but it's more like does it like raise flags? Similar to like when I heard that BlackRock was getting into Bitcoin, I was like, well, okay, solidified. I understand. I know exactly where the market's going. Does it do something to you, or does it make you aware of what's taking place? Does it help you to increase your allocation? There was a news story. This was maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I don't remember, where gold's price was going up because of all the stuff on the planet. And I was wondering, because I remember seeing other like comments years ago on YouTube channels where people were like, okay, this government I just heard in the news is buying more gold. I'm going to buy more gold. So I wonder, do people have that same kind of like, oh, snaps, everyone else has it, let me go get some as well? That was a real question. Okay. I think that's going to do it for this video. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're all having a fantastic time wherever you are. Hope you're all remembering to drink water. Water specifically. It's very good for you. It literally keeps you going. Tea also works as well. Like not tea with sugar, like literally just tea. It's also very good for you. Didn't know if you knew that. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves. I do hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.